How do? Bit of quiet time. So, thought I'd do you a little vlog. Anyone who's read my book, I did talk about funeral escorts. I did a vlog a good few weeks ago on a funeral escort. This is a different one. You know, I've been remembering all young offenders this last week. Now, one of them lads, one of the playboys I talked about, one of the armed robbers, Jared, was about, let's say he was 20 when his dad died in quite a tragic way. So I was approached to go on this funeral escort. The family had asked for somebody who worked with Jared to take him to the funeral. You know, funeral escorts as a prisoner, as an officer, are not good. Imagine being that prisoner, again, if you've got any sort of humanity in you, being cuffed to someone you don't know, going to a funeral. I was going to say close family then, but it is immediate family, you know, mum, dad, siblings, brother, sister, that sort of thing. Tragically, at Strangeways, we had a lad who was in his 30s. He was brought up from 6 months old by his stepdad. And when his stepdad died, the funeral escort was declined on the grounds that he weren't his real dad, which is just shocking. Anyone who looks after anyone, you know, anyone who looks after kids and cares for them is a parent, yeah? You know, whatever sex, gender or whatever, you know, if you're going to love a child and bring them up, for me, you're the parent. Anyway, funeral escorts, it's about risk assessment. So now, you know, reflection's a big thing for me. It's probably 20 years ago since this funeral escort. It's still very clear in my head. Risk assessment, Jared, like I've already told you, one of the playboys in the wing was in for armed robbery. We would be picking his brother up. His brother was a little bit older. At Strangeways, I think his brother was doing a big stretch for drugs. So, looking back now, I would think this was quite a high-risk escort. Modern times, now, a lot of people will be missing funerals due to lack of staffing. And the fact is that the Home Office, you know, they make a decision. It's about risk assessment. There's no requirement to let people go to funerals. So if you're struggling for staff or something like that, it just won't happen. So there you go, guys. Right. This escort, I was going to be cuffed to Jared. The other reason I'm talking about this now, guys, and I'm again, only today, I buried my own mum, you know, just before my 21st birthday, so I'd be round about the same age as Jared. You know, my mum was only 38. She died quite tragically, far too young. It's 38 years ago now, something like that. Still remember it. Still upsets me. Still have a cry now and again. See, there you go, getting a bit upset. But, you know, she's your mum at end of the day. Okay. So I thought about my own mum's funeral, and I thought about going to that funeral cuffed to someone as a prisoner. You know, my Auntie Pat, my Uncle Don, who were siblings. My Uncle Don was a twin. My Nan, you know, my Nan were heartbroken, bless her. No one should be burying their own kids, you know. It's very cliched, that, but, you know, it's tragic. And everyone else who were there. I remember the vicar. Young lad, really, really young. He had the frock, the robe on, and he had a pair of combat boots on. Very trendy, but, you know, he didn't make it a religious thing. I've never been religious, me. You're either religious or you're not. I have no problem either way. But this guy didn't make it about religion, and, you know, it went as well as possible. And it's only literally like now I'm telling you this that I thought about this in respect to Jared. So I'm cuffed to him. Can't remember who the SO was, but there was another lad who was on my course. He worked on B1 as well. We'll talk about him later. Arsehole. Moving swiftly on. So here's the thing. This were really strange in itself. There's 3 of us on this escort taking Jared to his dad's funeral. The arrangements, we were using our own transport. At that time, Forest Bank, UKDS, was run by Sodexo still. They had their own vans with UKDS on them. Come on. Why would you do that? You know, advertising it. Anyway, we went Strangeways. We had to go in the main gate. You go in Strangeways. Loads of prisoners have been in. You know, I'm not giving away no security details. Obviously, it's a high security jail. Your vehicles are searched. They come on. The shoes on the vehicle. Sometimes you're required to get off that vehicle. As it were, we were staying on our own transport. So there was no requirement for us to get off in the gate. Yeah? The search under the vehicle, you know, it's all very good. Documented procedures. There's a gate SO. There's OSGs, operational support, in the gate who come out, check the van, check you. All the usual things you'd expect from the high security estate. So we went to part of the prison. I can't remember where that was. I weren't working there then. You know, I was just in awe, really, that we were driving in Strangeways. We picked up Jared's brother, like I said, a little bit older, and 1 officer. There was only 1 officer coming from Strangeways, so now we had 2 prisoners and 4 staff. 3 from Forest Bank, private sector, 1 who was a senior officer in charge of the escort, and 1 officer from Strangeways. So again, these people who live in Manchester, Salford. We went to the place with the chapel of rest, you know, the cemetery. I remember driving in. But I've been to 2 funerals in Salford. This wasn't, you know, it's had a chapel of rest. I can't remember about a big building. It was a big building as you drove in, and the chapel of rest was where the older service was a short distance away. But I'll tell you what did happen. We pulled up. The lad from Strangeways, who was cuffed to Jared's brother, was obviously very nervous. He didn't know us. You know, his predicament weren't good. He's going on a funeral escort with 3 people he doesn't know. Yeah, he didn't look comfortable at all. We pulled up in the van. The door of the van was opened, and lads got on the van. Yeah, so 4 prison officers sat on the van, 2 prisoners, and lads, yeah, young lads, got on the van. I can't remember Jared's brother caught. "You all right, Jared? How you doing?" All this sort of thing. That in itself was unnerving. I've never been on an escort anywhere where people have actually got on the van, civvies. We were powerless to do anything. There were loads of people there. We got the 2 lads off. Like I said, I was cuffed to Jared. His mum were there. I think his girlfriend were there. You know, other close family friends. He hugged his brother, obviously, so we got off the van because they'd been sat separate. I remember his mum coming up. You know, his mum looked quite young to me. You know, I'm relating to my own close family. How are you feeling? It was shocking. It probably was the most uncomfortable I have ever been in my job. So somebody asked me about career highlights. Being in that position there, you know, I accepted why I was there, you know, for this young lad burying his dad, but boy, was it uncomfortable. It's one of them. I'll be thinking about this for a few days now, and I'll wake up and it's 20 years on and I'll be glad, honestly, I will be glad. So we goes to little chapel where they're going to have the service. We were sat next to Jared's mum. I don't know if his brother was sat on the same row, but, you know, Jared was sat next to his mum. It's just awful. Let me explain as well again, guys. So Jared is double cuffed. He's got chub cuffs. We have ratchet cuffs, you know, the ones the police always used to carry. Click them over, little chain. Chub cuffs are, you know, ratchet cuffs times 50. Super secure. He's cuffed like that in front of him. They're only a short cuff. He's then got a cuff round his wrist. To me, same cuffs. So we are literally, there's no way, you know, we are in each other's personal space. So in the chapel, I'm wanting it over me. You're being respectful. Obviously, people are crying. You know, you sort of bowed your head and that. Awful. It was awful. But again, you know, two young lads, Jared's family, they were burying the dad. So, you know, you've got to respect that. So when it's done and we're getting up, I thought it was over, me. I honestly thought it was over. Incidentally, at this point, the other two staff from Forest Bank, sorry, they're out of my sight. Anyway, we get up. The senior officer then informs us that we are going to the graveside. Anyway, I think we walked out. We've obviously come in the back of this chapel. We're now walking out to where our van is, because we're gonna drive down to the graveside. Apparently it's a short walk, so we're going down in the prison van. When we walked out the back of the chapel, I was not expecting I was not expecting what we walked into. Mostly men, mature men. I don't know, it was something from a gangster film. Long coats, wrap round shades, you know, they all look like bouncers. Fear me. I thought, wow, this ain't going good. This lad from Strangeways, he's white now. So he gets in the van, drives down to the graveside. Well, the van was probably, I don't know, might have been 25 metres away, might have been 50, might have been a bit more, I don't know. The senior officer and the other member of staff stayed on the van. Me and the lad from Strangeways, who were cuffed to Jared, and the other lad to his brother, went to the graveside. Again, we're being respectful. We got to the graveside. There was some words said. You know, people throw roses in on the coffin, this sort of thing. At this point, the atmosphere changed. It became very, very, very tense. I remember looking at a lad from Strangeways. He got his head down. He was shaking his head. Jared's brother was looking at Jared, nodding his head. Yeah. Thought, oh, fucking hell, I know what's happening here. I said in my book, I'm sure I saw weapons, which I'm sure I did. If you appreciate now, you cannot even imagine the feeling now. You can't imagine it, honestly. Just intruding in people's lives, a family funeral, but now I'm at a graveside. We're greatly outnumbered. I can't see the van. I can't see the other staff. You know, you're on your own. His brother definitely was wanting off. Definitely. The people there were prepared to get him off. Anyway, I looked at Jared. He looked at me, sideways glance. And he said something quite reassuring. The exact words I don't remember. I hope you appreciate now just the situation I'm in now. He said something like, don't worry, Worth, or S. Don't worry. So he used to call me some at YP's, Worth. You know, my name's Neil Samworth, Worth, S, Mr. S. I didn't mind that. It was very reassuring. He looked at his brother and he was like, he was just saying, no, it's not happening. He didn't speak. His brother looked well disappointed and pissed off. And then like that, the tension went, yeah. Jared hugged his mum, girlfriend, whoever were there, and we walked back to the van. When I got back to the van, I was pissed me, yeah. The SO and the other lad who I worked with on B1 were laughing and joking, eating butties, you know. They hadn't even been watching what had gone on. They'd got no idea. I got in the van, they could obviously see I was pissed off. The lad I worked with on B1, you know, big man, what's fucking wrong with you, that sort of thing. Yeah. Anyway, we got on the van. Jared and his brother didn't say anything. I've never been so glad to get on prison transport, a van, and actually drive out of somewhere, or just, you know, it had gone. So for Jared, if he ever sees this, I hope he, you know, when he thinks back, you know, I tried to be the best person. The lad from Strangeways, I felt so sorry for him. But, you know, that's how it is. I'm going to leave it there, guys. These young offenders are milling about in my head now, so I'll maybe do a couple more vlogs. And then hopefully put that to rest. But like I say, it's 20 years ago, this, and it's like clear as day. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming. How do? A little add-on, guys. So I forgot to tell you. When we went into Strangeways, into the vehicle lot to pick up Jared's brother, we were booked in, obviously. When we took Jared's brother out, 2 prisoners on the van, 4 staff. Whoever booked us in didn't do it right, yeah? So imagine the prisoner that went in wasn't counted, but when we come out of Strangeways, 2 prisoners were taken off their roll. Yeah, not that good that day. Were we Strangeways staff? Roll incorrect. At dinner time, they got 1 missing. Yeah, because they counted the lad from Forest Bank as being one of their prisoners. So roll incorrect till the funeral escort come back and someone worked it out. Okay, guys. HMP screwing it up, pun intended. Cheers.